we do that, Jonathan Burke is going to bring us our Bible reading from Genesis.
Okay, unmute yourself, Jonathan.
Is the red light gone on?
You're on now.
Genesis chapter 1, 20 to 31. And God said, "Let the water teem with living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the vault of the sky." So God created the great creatures of the sea and every living thing with which the water teems and that moves about in it according to their kinds, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. God blessed them and said, "Be fruitful and increase in number, and fill the water in the seas, and let the birds increase on the earth." And there was evening, and there was morning, the fifth day. God made the wild animals according to their kinds, the livestock according to their kinds, and all the creatures that move along the ground according to their kinds. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and all the wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground." So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God he created them, male and female he created them. God blessed them and said to them, "Be fruitful and increase in number. Fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, and over every living creature that moves on the ground." Then God said, "I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food. And to all the beasts of the earth, and all the birds in the sky, and all the creatures that move along the ground, everything that has the breath of life in it, I give every green plant for food." And it was so. God saw all that he had made, and it was very good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the sixth day. This is the word of the Lord.
Lovely. Thank you, Jonathan, for that reading from Genesis. Well, we heard in that reading that God blessed the sea creatures and the birds of the air. And again, in verse 28, he blessed man and woman, giving them dominion over creation. And so it's our responsibility to care for God's creation, to be good stewards. We've been thinking a lot about that here at Christchurch. And today I thought it would be lovely to have an opportunity to give thanks to God for his wonderful creation. Of course, following, as Jeff has already mentioned, in the footsteps of St. Francis of Assisi, normally we may think about this particular blessing of animals on the 4th of October, but we thought, well, seeing it's the summer and we're still in lockdown, then why not bring it forward? It's a brilliant opportunity to give thanks. So we don't need a particular day to give thanks to God for his creation. And it's an opportunity to thank God for our animals. And as Jeff said, to bless them. We may be thinking about animals that we've lost, who've actually helped us along our way, or maybe some animals are sick. I still believe very much that God's interested in every part of our life. And I certainly have asked members of congregation in the past to pray for our dog Monty when he was unwell, because I believe that God cares for all things. But first, let's think about blessing. Of course, we don't bring our companion animals to a service like this so much because we think they need a special blessing from God. We bring them because we've been blessed by them. and we want to say thanks to them and to God. I don't know about you, but the blessing of a tail wagging when you return home after a long day, I'm sure some people have experienced that, or the blessing of whiskers twitching and ears turning to our voice, that unconditional love that some people were commenting about in the chat room. We know the blessing of a bird song in the morning, and certainly in lockdown, the birds have sounded a lot louder than ever before. Or a hamster wheel spinning at night and so annoying when you're trying to get to sleep. We know the blessing of a nose nudging our hand for a treat, or a mane brushing our face, those of us who've ever ridden a horse. We know the blessing of company, of trust, of playfulness, and of the responsibility to care and feed and love something that cannot speak, but speaks daily to our hearts. So we come to today to say thanks. We also come today because we know that we have a blessing work to do. We come because we want to be a blessing. We want to bring a safe harbour to creatures losing their homes, to our overdevelopment of the land and resources. We want to protect the fragile ecosystems and gentle beaches that are home to rich biodiversity. We want to ensure that no more creatures pass to extinction because we made it impossible for them to adapt.